final round of the 1995 British Open at St. Andrews, needing a birdie on the par 4 18th to force a playoff, Costantino Rocca dribbled his second shot into the infamous Valley of Sin. The Italian followed the humiliation with jubilation, running in a 65-foot putt from off the green to catch John Daly.
Years from now, what will be forgotten is that he basically laid the sod over the shot before. He looked like a 20 handicapper on the shot before. He duffed it.
Just the look of horror on his face portended that there was no way that he had any chance on the next putt.
And there's John Daly with his wife looking on. If Costantino Rocca doesn't make it, then John's going to win the British Open.
He was celebrating. They were hugging, and John had a big smile on his face.
All Rocca has to do is miss this impossible shot. And John Daly is the champion of the British Open in 1995.
Yes! Yes! Rocca has done it!
Classic golfer's redemption. It epitomized everything golf is about. No matter how good you are or how bad you are, you can have a bad moment or a good moment. It's the rise and fall of golf.
Never forget Costantino Rocca going to his knees, kissing the ground, and crying. I mean, he was literally crying.
After Rocca holed that great putt, he went in the playoff with John Daly, and I think that he used up so much of his energy on that 18th green, getting in the playoff. He really didn't have a whole lot left, and John Daly went on and won that playoff.
At the 1995 U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills, Corey Pavin, leading by 1, faced a daunting second shot of 228 yards on the final hole. He sent the ball boring through the wind, and it settled only 5 feet from the cup. While he missed the birdie putt, his par was enough for a 2-stroke win over who else? Greg Norman.
I give Corey so much credit. It was a very tough day to play. The greens were hard as a rock, and it was very breezy.
Wind was into the players and from the right. Corey, not one of the longer hitters by any means on the PGA Tour, was left with a long second shot.
Greg Norman was on his heels. He's got to make a par to really ice this thing, and he pulls his forward out and knocks it up the green, and it looked like it was going to go in. It broke off to the right.
The 18th there at Shinnecock, where he played from, was actually kind of below a little bit of a rise, so he had to kind of run up about 30 yards to actually see where the ball was going to land.
The forward shot itself is what won him the tournament, a shot that he had to have. It was a very difficult shot, and for him to pull it off in that moment ranks as certainly one of the great shots in major championship history.
I'm just so proud that my name can get on here, and I'm just so happy to get the old monkey off my back.
8. You know, the Masters doesn't go very long without providing you with something tremendous. And I think that going into 1986, the air was pregnant for something really dramatic to happen. The only missing ingredient was Jack Nicklaus. Everybody thought he was done.
In the final round of the 1986 Masters, the Olden Bear became the Golden Bear again. After bagging an eagle, 46-year-old Jack came to the 170-yard par 3/16, a water-shrouded hole that had rewarded him frequently. He stuck a 5-iron 3 feet from the hole. That birdie was part of a back nine 30, and the man whose time they said had passed them all.
He had just gotten himself into contention. He had just come off eagling the 15th hole.
There was electricity in the air that I have still not ever seen in another sporting event like it. The buzz as people were hearing about Jack Nicklaus at 46 making this move, it was magic.
All of a sudden, I wasn't Jack Nicklaus 46 years old. I was Jack Nicklaus in the prime of his career, knowing what he could do coming down that stretch to do it.
Well, Jack steps on 16 and he can smell blood. And when the bear smells blood, you always get the best out of him.
He needed a birdie, and as soon as he hit it, his son Jackie, who's caddying for him that week, says, "Be right."
He picked up his tee as calm as can be, winked at me and said, "It is."
Now, why I would say that? It's because I knew. I knew that the ball was absolutely dead right.
And in my life, I've never heard golf galleries like that. It sounded like the most raucous football crowd you could possibly imagine.
Bob Tway and myself were in the twosome immediately in front of Jack Nicklaus and Sandy Lyle. And the hair on the back of our necks stood up. That's how loud the roar was.
That's what we keep remembering. Every time Jack Nicklaus plays in the Masters, the reason why we think he's got a shot is because of shots like that at 16. And the reason why he probably does have a shot is because of shots like that at 16.